Further demonstrating that you don't need loot boxes to take the piss with your video game monetization, Gears 5 has new characters and it is a pissing grind to unlock them, unless of course you stump up some money and then you can pay to have them outright. Gears 5's entire economy is a convoluted, confusing mess, and they've added more to the contrivance with a fresh wave of unlockable characters. This week, Gears 5 got the Cog Gear, Warden, DB and General Ram characters, and to acquire them in-game, you have to take part in yet another roundabout system on top of the other roundabout systems the game boasts. Gears 5 developer The Coalition estimates that it will take around 10 hours to grind for a single one of these new characters if you choose not to purchase them outright for 500 iron, which is around $5 a pop. To acquire these characters in-game, you now need to take part in the Totem system. You have to craft a totem for a character, spending 100 scrap, and then you have to equip it. And you can only equip one totem at a time, so if you want all of the characters, that's, well, it's going to be 40 hours of grinding. After which time, I'm sure you will feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. Once your totem is equipped, you then have to complete certain objectives across a number of Gears 5 gameplay modes, whether you enjoy playing all those modes or not. Every character has 4 objectives, they're all the same, and then one unique objective each. So every time you equip a new totem to get the character, you will have to earn 60,000 XP in Versus, Horde or Escape mode. You will have to complete 40 rounds of Versus mode, survive 50 waves of Horde mode, and survive 18 acts of Escape mode. I certainly wouldn't be able to grind for any of these characters because I fucking hate Escape mode. On top of that, as I said, there's one more unique objective you have to do for every character. For the Cog Gear, you need to get 200 assists in any of the modes. For DB, you have to get 100 reject kills in Horde or Escape. For the Warden, you need to eliminate 10 Wardens in Horde or Escape, bit hypocritical. And for General Ram, you need to execute 30 Cog characters as a swarm character. Now, the 10-hour grind per character is an estimate. The Coalition says if you're good, you could unlock them quicker, but regardless, that is still a massive amount of grinding. I mean, 40 rounds of Versus, to say nothing of Horde and Escape mode. In order to get all of the characters, that is 160 rounds of Versus mode you gotta play. And that's just one of the 5 objectives per character you've got to complete each time. And these characters aren't just cosmetic either. They have unique abilities for Arcade and Horde mode. Now, we've discussed, of course, at length on this channel why video games have gotten so grindy now, and why they offer you the option to skip the grind for a price, for a real money fee. And this convoluted totem system that the Coalition's pulled out of their arse to justify the grinding is a perfect example of why and how microtransactions are not optional, because the game wouldn't be this grindy if the Coalition wasn't trying to make money. It's another case of the game industry inventing a problem, i.e. designing their own grind, and then selling a solution, the option, to skip the grind. Now, selling DLC characters is nothing new, and they could have just put these characters out for sale outright without any option to acquire them in-game at all. I'm fully aware of that. But the way Gears 5 has chosen to do this speaks volumes about what the video game industry is like in the AAA space these days. It's as if nothing can be so straightforward as just selling you shit anymore. There have to be associated hoops to jump through. There have to be psychological tricks employed. They have to try and frustrate you. They have to try and wear your patience down. And if this is all Gears 5 was doing to try and make money, maybe it wouldn't have even so much as raised an eyebrow from me, but this is yet another contrived system on top of all the other shit, with its convoluted Battle Pass-esque system and its Fortnite-style storefront and the fact that you get certain items in certain places but not in others. And I basically stopped playing Gears 5 because eventually I was getting impatient with it all and I didn't want to be tempted into spending money on the microtransactions, which is basically how I have to engage with all too many games these days. And this is all before we get to the fact that there are 2 other characters that you can only buy in a pack for $19.99, and They are advertisements for the new Terminator film. The character Grace and the Terminator Rev 9 are from Terminator Dark Fate, and they have to be bought. You can't grind for those at all. And when you already consider there are a bunch of Terminator characters and emblems and imagery already in the game, one has to wonder, at what point does Gears 5 stop being a video game in its own right and starts just being a commercial for Terminator Dark Fate? The previous Terminator characters were available in the game if you got in early, but now they are also only available for sale in another character pack for $19.99. And that is peak video game capitalism, where you're spending $20 to buy commercials for a film. Actually, it's even better than that. You are spending money to become a commercial for the film. If you're playing a Terminator Dark Fate character and you're running around a multiplayer map for everyone to see, you are a walking billboard for the fucking film, and you paid to become the billboard. That's amazing! For some reason, Terminator Dark Fate has been insinuating itself into a number of games, Gears 5 being just one of them. And I gotta wonder if that's gonna be a new trend. I mean, we've seen plenty of movie tie-ins before, but is this the thing where multiple video games will become glorified commercials for a single new film release, and we pay for the privilege of taking part in the commercial? I just wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing playable Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons and Jason Stathams everywhere. Gears 4 had loot boxes, and they took the loot boxes out and they replaced it with a monetized mess, and it's a mess by design. It's all part of the confusopoly and the grinding and the exhaustion factor that goes into a successful microtransaction model. Incidentally, Activision announced that Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the new upcoming one, would be scrapping loot boxes as well, focused more primarily on a cosmetic-based battle pass system, but it's because of shit like this with Gears 5 that I don't necessarily trust it won't be a load of bollocks anyway. Given the bad press and threat of legislation surrounding loot boxes, it seems quite a few companies want to back off for now, and that just means they're looking for the next get richer quicker scheme. As I predicted last year, battle passes are just getting more and more popular. They're becoming the in thing ever since Fortnite had such huge success with them, and we're starting to see certain companies begin to take the utter piss with them, and I think that's going to get worse. I mean, we've seen the way every new business idea, every new model that's introduced to the AAA space, we've seen the way they go. Companies just see how far and far they can push it, how more complex, more greedy, more grindy they can make stuff, so I'm not expecting the Battle Pass thing to end particularly well now that most major AAA publishers have sunk their talons deep into the idea. But hey, at least Call of Duty Modern Warfare isn't full of Terminator characters. At least at the time of talking.